Wheeler with 23 left and 8 on the clock. Shake and bake. Pull up. Tough shot. Broderick Dub has been there all night long. Loose ball. Who's got it? Going. Erica Wheeler does. And Seattle is going to the playoffs.
That is a bad woman right there. Erica Wheeler confirms there will be a storm rolling through the playoffs. Coming up on NBA Today, the Great Eight is set, but the seedings, that's still up for grabs. So we're going to get you ready for the final 2 nights of the W season. Plus, her resume, it's longer than a CBS receipt. 7-time All-Star, 3-time MVP. Could another one be coming? And the WNBA scoring leader, Asia Wilson, she is stopping by the show. How is she feeling about her aces heading into the playoffs? NBA Today starts right now. As for the NBA, all eyes are on New York today. The Board of Governors has convened, and the biggest story in the league right now is what will happen with Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. Last week, the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast reported that Kawhi had a $28 million no-show endorsement deal with the now bankrupt company Aspiration. Clipper Governor Steve Ballmer, he says the team has followed all league rules, and when he spoke with our Ramona Shelburne last week, said, quote, "I'd want the league to investigate and take it seriously." So today, we heard from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver for the first time on this. Let's take a listen together.
When the podcast came out, it was news to me. I'd frankly never heard of the company Aspiration before, and I'd never heard a whiff of anything around an endorsement deal with Kawhi or anything around engagement with the Los Angeles Clippers. So it was all new to me. I heard it. I saw some of the follow-up information. We spoke internally. Rick Buchanan, our general counsel, is here, who oversees any investigations. Rick had a conversation with Steve Ballmer, and we quickly concluded this was something that rose to the level that necessitates an investigation. In fact, one that's done outside of our office, and Wachtell Lipton, New York law firm that we've used in the past for for investigations like this, is overseeing it. And again, I would also say I've been around the league long enough and different permutations of allegations and accusations that I'm a big believer in due process and fairness, and you need to now let the investigation run its course. The public at times reaches conclusions that later turn out to be completely false. And so I would want anybody else in situation Mr. Ballmer is in now, or Kawhi Leonard for that matter, to be treated the same way I would want to be treated if people were making allegations against me. So the answer is, we're not a court of law at the end of the day either, that we have broad authority to look at all information and to weigh it accordingly.
So that was Adam Silver just moments ago. I'm joined now by a pair of NBA champions in Kendrick Perkins and Channing Frye, our #1 WNBA pick, Shanae Ogwumike, and our front office insider, Bobby Marks, to just sort of peel back the layers here. So, Bobby, I want to start with you. When you hear cap circumvention, because that's really what all of this comes down to, what alarm bells does that set off that is leading to now this investigation?
Well, Malik, I think there's 2 cardinal sins when you look at the NBA. It's certainly gambling on games, and then when you look at salary cap circumvention, certainly what the Clippers are being accused of. I would warn, though, what the optics look like in the Clippers case and what the evidence might eventually prove could be 2 different things. And I certainly go back to my situation in Brooklyn in 2013 when we were investigated by an outside law firm for salary cap circumvention in the Andre Karolinko situation when we were exonerated here. And I think when you listen to the commissioner here, they're going to go through this, a thorough investigation. And if the Clippers are found, there'll be severe penalties here. But the one takeaway is that this could be a long investigation here as far as what the Clippers went through as far as some type of circumvention here.
Yeah, this isn't a process that's necessarily going to reach its conclusion in the next couple of days or even weeks. It could be months. Perk, this is the first time we're hearing from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver on this, and I don't think we heard anything out of what we expected, that there is going to be an investigation and also to allow due process to take place. But I haven't had a chance to hear your reaction yet to sort of the totality of these allegations and now the investigation moving forward.
Well, what's up, y'all? It's been a minute.
Oh, hey,
it's been
Perk.
a minute. I miss
Good
y'all.
to see you.
Shannon, welcome.
I saw you
welcome
like
to
literally
NBA
a week
today.
ago.
You looking,
But not here.
you
Not
looking
here, not
somewhat good up there.
Ooh,
Shanae,
I said,
Malika,
look,
great
look.
to see y'all, fam. And
Men's
Bobby,
Warehouse.
what's happening? Listen, one, This is why we got the best commissioner in sports, because Adam Silver, he never jumps to conclusions. And like he said in this interview, we're going to go through the process, and to be fair to Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard. Now, if they come out throughout the investigation and these allegations are true, I have a problem. Now, we know that the Clippers, they love Kawhi Leonard dirty draws, and even the one that he wore last year. Okay? He is their biggest asset. You're supposed to protect your asset. If these allegations are true, then I hate that Kawhi Leonard is actually the face of this conversation, because it's Steve Ballmer's job and Uncle Dennis, who represents Kawhi Leonard's job, to protect Kawhi Leonard and make sure they do their due diligence and never put a guy in this situation. I had this conversation a week ago with Shannon on road tripping about, hey, how many guys actually read their contracts in the NBA? Shanae, did you read your contract in the WNBA?
Absolutely.
Malika, did you read your contract? You did?
I'm on the executive committee of the WNBPA. Yeah, but it's okay. I hear what you're saying.
You get the point.
Women are different than men. I never read my contract. That's why you have agents in place. Bobby, I'm pretty sure you don't never talk directly with the player. You're talking to their agents, their lawyers. All we do is sign the paperwork because we trust that the people that are representing us are going to put us in the right position and protect us. So if these allegations are true, I'm really pissed. I'm going to be really pissed off at one Steve Ballmer and one Uncle Dennis, who represents Kawhi, because they're supposed to protect him as the asset and the face of this organization.
And Perk, there are a lot of unwritten rules when it comes to basketball. There are unwritten rules that you sort of understand as a professional when you sign on to do a deal. Some of the things that sort of jump out to me were the fact that, the company never announced that there was a marketing deal. One, him getting like 2 times, 3 times more than other celebrity endorsements. Like, there are a lot of fishy aspects here. And to me, like, the optics are the big issue.
Mm-hmm.
I like that and I like that we don't jump to conclusions. There's going to be an investigation. But yeah, I think this is one of those things that you have to bottle up, because these circumstances can get out of control if you're signing for an endorsement that you never really had to do anything for. That is a tough situation.
After talking about this for the last 3 days, what I'm finding out is like that company was throwing money around like it was monopoly money, right? And so for me, he's saying, at the end of the day, we don't know the details of how much he got paid, when, or how that structure is. So for me, as Perk talks about it, they probably were like, hey, you're going to get 24 over this amount. We're going to work out how much and where you have to do these appearances. It may be $28 million if you do, or if we reach these things. So those details are extremely important in how it's worked out. He may only got $50,000 just to say, put your name on this thing, and then they obviously filed for bankruptcy. So for me, I'm just waiting on the details. But for me, when my agent comes to me with something, he's like, hey, you have the opportunity to make 28 if you do A, B, C, and D.
But there's an expectation of knowing what you're going to do to fulfill the deal. And the fact that there is a lot of question marks around fulfilling it, that's where the issue is.
That's where the big issue is.
And look, this is something where the DOJ is getting involved to investigate the company aspiration and what exactly all was going on there. There are a lot of layers to all of this, and the Clippers and Steve Ballmer, they have denied vehemently any wrongdoing in all of this. And Adam Silver is saying, all right, let's let this due process play out. We will absolutely do that. But Bobby, there's a lot here to sort through. As fans at home are watching this and wondering what's the most important thing for us to watch and listen to, how should we feel today? Maybe as Shanae is saying, with so much information coming in and not a whole lot of solid facts, how should fans be walking away right now?
Yeah, I think the fans, how they should be walking away is that this is going to be a waiting game here. I think that what they should realize that do not jump to conclusions on here. What is the smoking gun? I know in the CBA it could be circumstantial evidence here, but I think the league would go down a slippery slope if we're going that way, because I think you can find a lot of teams who have maybe violated the salary cap based on circumstantial evidence with regards to the Clippers here. I think the other thing too, Malika, real quick, and this is just from talking to teams, the teams I've talked to, they're not expecting a penalty here, a significant penalty, if anything, just because they realize how significant salary cap circumvention is.
Yep.
If anything, do we maybe see a rule in place where the league takes a more of a understanding as far as vetting what contracts players sign with sponsorship agreements that are related with teams?
Right, because the central question here is, was there a way that the Clippers were able to give Kawhi Leonard more money than another team would have been able to? And ultimately, is that what is in part what led him to signing with the Clippers? That is what we're asking when we're asking about salary circumvention. Bobby, it's a really complicated issue. We appreciate you making it a little bit simpler for us. Let's move on to some more topics being covered right now in the Board of Governors meeting. Shams Charania reported this. We saw this rule tested out in Summer League, right? But it's official. This is the change for the 25-26 season here. Unsuccessful end-of-period heaves. Those will now be recorded as missed field goal attempts for the team, not for the player. Yay. That is what sources are telling Shams. Wait, Shanigan's saying what?
You shot the ball. You shot the ball.
Respectfully, this is how we affectionately call it, like grenades. When you toss it to your teammate, like, hey, I don't want to
throw me them grenades. Me and Swish love them. Man, what on the best shooter on the court?
Love them? Nikola Jokic loves them. There's no player that this is going to be benefit more.
You're mad that if he knocks down the shot, that he doesn't get the credit?
No, I'm saying, who cares? Like, if you're that worried about your field goal percentage.
But think about how often that ball goes in. Not that often, but you still want people playing to the final possession of a quarter of a half.
You should do that because you're getting paid to win the game. Take the shot. If that's an extra shot,
do you think that everyone's taking it that serious?
No, I don't think so. Some people can't shoot from the free throw line. Man, throw that thing
I'm
up there.
very curious about this. I've always thought just take the shot. So what if your percentage goes down a teeny little bit? Jokic has done it. What do you think? Now this is an official league rule.
I remember when Dwayne Wade, Braun down in Miami, they didn't take those last-second shots, and they used to hold the ball. It was a ripple effect. We started doing it in Boston, and Doc Rivers called the meeting. He was like, hey, guys, no, we're not doing that. We're going to take these shots. Yeah. And I remember E. House, he was on the verge of hitting the record books in the Celtics history. He would not shoot those end of the quarter, end of the halftime type shots.
Now let's see.
You know, my favorite is the one where it's like, 3, 2, 1. Oh, now, right, as soon as the buzzer goes off, I'm going to take that shot.
That makes me so mad.
The Board of Governors press conference is ongoing. We will certainly keep you abreast of anything important coming out of there. But it was a big night in the W, big highlights to go with it last night. Let's count down our big 3 plays.
Yeah, Dom.
Longa.
Look at that.
Hitting that block.
Second half of the season, she has blossomed.
And then Brittany Knight takes it coast to coast. Misses the layup.
Nice finish.
Don't worry.
Yep.
Longa there.
Growing.
Back.
Literally. Only 19 years old.
Stop.
Yes, can dunk. I'm still waiting for her to catch a body.
At number 2, Chelsea Gray. She can dunk. It's going to happen.
I assume everyone can dunk
Gets
nowadays.
the steal here. And then a little no-look pass to Nalissa Smith, who gets a layup.
Okay, did she do her celebration, though? I think it's one of the best. No. The movie. One of the best celebrations in sports. She starts filming. Okay, she knows about business.
5 assists, 2 steals. In the playoffs, we're going to see that's what's going to be.
Exactly.
At number 1, Kelsey Plum with the handle.
Okay, you see, it got her in a little bit of blender. A little 360. Here we go. Got him.
She had 17 points in this one, and this was a must-win for the Sparks. We'll show you how that went down right after this. Coming up here on NBA Today, scenario coming in. The Storm can clinch a playoff spot with a win or a Sparks loss. The Sparks, they'd be eliminated with a loss or a Seattle win. So let's go to Seattle here.
And I've been saying the veterans need to step up for Seattle, and Erica Wheeler answered that call. Easy for 3Z.
And Nneka Agumake.
Tough bucket, mid-range, monster. Let me knock on some wood, okay? Let me knock on some wood.
Seattle within 1 here. And then the next Storm possession here, 11:36 p.m. Eastern Time. Wheeler, what were you saying about her?
She's one of the streakiest shooters in the W, and look at her. She plays with emotions on her sleeve, so especially needed now.
Storm, they take a 63-61 lead at 11:36. But at 11:49, here's what is going on in Phoenix.
Look at De'Erica run, one of the best rim runners in the WNBA.
So the Sparks up by 4 here. 3 minutes later, 11:52. Plum misses. Hammy right there.
Yes.
Muscles it inside. And 1. Sparks take control of that game with a minute left at 11:52 p.m. and change, and they would go on to win. So for now, playoff hope still alive. But back to Seattle we go.
Yeah, we do. And again, big 3 right here. And this is where I honestly put my phone down and went to sleep.
On the wing.
Forced myself.
The Valkyries up by 1.
Stress.
You know what? That's what happens when you need to just sort of decompress. And you know who didn't? Big moment, big minute.
That's her spot. That's her move. Erica Wheeler stayed locked in. That was a huge bucket.
So the Storm up by 1, but still a little bit of time left here for Golden State. Down 1, 12 seconds left. The Valkyries They cannot connect on the corner three.
A
The
good look.
rebound comes down to Erica Wheeler again. Seattle dribbles it out with some soft.
And that's where my sister said, wake up! 5 times.
Here's Neko Dumake on her mindset heading into the playoffs.
Hey, Patty.
When you do something for a long time, yeah, you have the foundation of your discipline, but every moment is different, you know? And so I think the readiness comes from being disciplined and having that foundation, but then any big moment can happen at any point, and leaning on yourself, knowing that you've prepared for that, is really kind of the mindset that I try to have going in.
That's my pep talk I get every day in the morning. So
He's coming with the whole word.
Yeah.
Over to Indiana. That's where the Lynx, they were resting MVP candidate Nafisa Collier against the Fever here in this one. Odyssey Sims, huge in this
she's
game.
been a huge boost for the squad. This squad has been decimated primarily at the point guard position by injury, but Caitlin was like, hey, you might need a timeout, Cheryl.
Oh, yeah, Sims at 15 points in the game. Natasha Howard here spins, gets that tough fadeaway to fall.
Oh, so pretty. She's been a great addition and X factor for them.
Fever led by 13 at the half. The Lynx, though, they would start to chip away a little bit at this one. But Kelsey Mitchell, 18 points, 4 of 5 from 3 here. The Fever go on to win this one. So they finish the regular season 24-20. So what do you say, Sinead? Let's just take some inventory here.
Okay.
The playoff picture. This is what it looks like now. The Lynx, they have clinched the 1 seed. We know that. The Mercury, the Liberty, they are getting set to face off in that 4-5 game. So that leaves the battle for the 2 seed. That's still in the air between the Aces and the Dream. And then the order of the 6, the 7, and the 8 seed.
Crazy.
All of that is still left to be decided. So Minnesota, we know, sitting comfortably atop the standings. They have been for a while. Vegas is riding a 15-game winning streak. So let's play a little Would You Rather.
Okay.
Would you rather face the hottest team in the league right now in the Aces, or would you rather face the train all season long that has been the Minnesota Lynx? If you're one
Neither.
of the
Honestly, neither.
Right.
The Minnesota Lynx have been a problem. Even with Nafisa out, they have found ways to continue to shine. Extremely dominant year. I don't want to face them because they are a machine. Number 1 in offensive rating, number 1 in defensive rating, and they have Fee, who is probably the most efficient big in basketball when we think about the WNBA. But I also would not want to face the hottest player, who's leading the hottest team in Asia Wilson. I'm excited to hear from her very soon. Asia averaged 27 on this amazing win streak. She literally brought them back to life. Did you see that move right there? That's one of my favorite moves that I've seen this entire season. The most 30-point double-doubles, the most 20-point double-doubles. Bring out the best in Melissa Smith. Bring out the best in Jackie Young. Bring out the best in someone who moved to the bench in Jewel Lloyd. We're watching greatness in real time. By the time she's done, she could say, potentially, I'm the greatest ever to do it based off of the awards. That awards cabinet is crazy. It's wild. So yeah, I would not want to face the Lynx, and I would not want to face Asia Wilson right now.
I mean, it also depends on like which team are you. Maybe if you're the Storm, you have a little bit more confidence against.
They knocked down the Lynx
because
twice
they've
already.
beaten them twice.
Okay.
We haven't seen a whole lot of teams be able to do that. We do know, though, we thought we were going to be talking about the Liberty maybe at the top of the standings. Shanae, we're not, but they are back in full force for the first time.
This is not fair, Malika, because if you think about it, this is a team that is currently around 5 in the seed, I think, right? It doesn't matter. The rich got richer. They got Natasha Cloud. They got Emma Meeseman, who's a WNBA Finals champion and Finals MVP. Like, the rich get richer, and I feel like as long as they're healthy at the right time, that's what matters most. And guess what? They are.
Speaking of Meeseman, get that one to go right there. Slippery eel, as Perk would say. 19 points in this one. And again,
Look at that.
this is the first game, Shanae, we've seen them fully healthy with Emma Meeseman.
I mean, it's not fair.
Shout out Jonquel Jones.
This
12
playoff is gonna be
points,
amazing.
11 rebounds. I can't wait. All right, coming up here on NBA Today, the Board of Governors in the NBA, they convened today in New York amid that Kawhi contract investigation. So we're going to give you the latest on how that meeting went and what the ramifications could be for Steve Ballmer's Clippers. And Draymond Green, he shared his thoughts on what sets LeBron James apart from Michael Jordan.
Of course
You're
he
going to want to hear Draymond's reasoning for why he thinks LeBron is the GOAT. It's unique.
Kai, can we pull up?
Back to our top story out of New York today. That's where the Board of Governors met earlier and where NBA Commissioner Adam Silver addressed the biggest story in the league right now, that the Los Angeles Clippers and team owner Steve Ballmer reportedly have been accused of circumventing the NBA salary cap by paying $28 million to Kawhi Leonard for a no-show job. Here's Commissioner Silver moments ago.
how broad do your powers extend as far as the collective bargaining agreement, as far as penalties you can assess to the Clippers, to Kawhi Leonard?
My powers are very broad. The full range of financial penalties, draft picks, suspensions, etc. I have very broad powers in these situations.
He might have been being a little cheeky there, but actually that's very true. So we are now welcoming in Tim Bontemps, who was in attendance for the commissioner's press conference. And we knew, Tim, you and I were chatting yesterday, that going into today, there are going to be a lot of questions about Kawhi Leonard and about the Los Angeles Clippers. There certainly were. So can you help us distill all of that down? What is the most important thing for fans to take away after sitting through that press conference?
Well, Malik, as you played in that clip from Adam Silver, our friend Vinny Goodwill asked him, what are your powers in terms of levying a punishment to the Clippers if you find fault in this investigation, which he laid out in that answer. But I think the most important thing Adam Silver said today is that the burden of proof in this investigation to decide whether the Clippers actually committed salary cap circumvention in this whole saga involving Kawhi Leonard and aspiration and these $28 million in payments falls on the NBA to do so. There's been a lot of discussion since Pablo Torre's podcast came out about where that burden of proof lands. Is it on the Clippers to say, here's definitively why we didn't do this? Or is it on the NBA to say, no, here's where we have found you guys have committed salary cap circumvention. We're going to bring the hammer down on you in terms of the various different ways they can be penalized under Adam Silver's leadership of the league. By Silver saying under these negotiations, it's up to the league to prove that they can find true salary cap circumvention, that they can find ways to show the Clippers did this. I think that's going to guide how this investigation is going to play out. And the mere circumstantial evidence of the appearance of, as Silver said a couple times, the appearance of the potential of something to happen here probably isn't going to raise to the level of hammering the Clippers with the kind of penalties we saw the last time there was a true salary cap circumvention case back in the early 2000s with Joe Smith and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, that's very true and important to remember that however things appear, there is a process here that needs to play out, and that could take a little bit to see exactly how long and what conclusions are found here. So, Tim, how long of a process do you think that this could be? Because our Bobby Marks told us earlier in the show that this could take quite a bit of time. Yeah, it certainly could, Malika. And sources within the league have told me that there is no timeline on how long this investigation will take. Okay. The league has already gone out and hired an external law firm here in New York to handle the negotiation, to be an impartial arbiter, to go out and do the interviews and collect the evidence and figure out what exactly went on here. But it is unclear how long that is going to take. It clearly is a priority for the league to go through this investigation and figure it out. It was the number one topic of discussion during this press conference. It obviously was a huge topic of discussion here at the Board of Governors, where Steve Ballmer, the Clippers owner, was in attendance along with the other 29 owners of teams across the league. And this is something the NBA obviously takes very seriously, as all sorts of people have said over the past week or so since Pablo's pod came out. If this becomes a case where salary cap circumvention is found, this is something that gets right to the core integrity of the league. Yep. If you have teams that are able to go above and beyond the salary cap to pay players. So certainly the league is taking it extremely seriously. They're going to conduct a very thorough investigation, and where the facts lead them will determine just what the penalties are and how much trouble, if any, the Clippers wind up being found in. And it does not seem, however, like that's going to be happening anytime this week or, frankly, anytime soon after that. Yeah, fairness, such a key tenet of not only the NBA, but sports in general. And so this could take a little bit of time. I have to imagine that when Media Day is held in a couple of weeks from now, a little later this month, that the Clippers will once again be asked about this. And certainly I imagine that Kawhi Leonard himself will be asked about this as well. Tim Bontemps, thank you so very much. We really appreciate the time here. So as we mentioned, this is certainly the number one story around the NBA right now, but there's a lot to get to. So we're going to try to get to as many topics as we can, all in one segment. Let's play a little chop or drop it. Shannon, you're new around here. So what happens is I'm going to throw out a topic. If you want to talk about it, if you want to chop it up, you say let's chop it. Or we drop it and move on. Sometimes we try to do these combos. Okay. Don't do that. We're chop it or drop it. We're going to start in Philadelphia, all right? That's where the Sixers. They put out this video of Joel Embiid working out, Paul George lifting some weights. You see top 3 pick VJ Edgecombe, who there's a lot of excitement for, attacking the rim. But yes, that's 4 seconds of Joel Embiid without a brace. So I'm going to start with Perk here. Should Sixers fans be encouraged by seeing this? It's a brief clip, but a clip nonetheless, of Joel back on the floor doing some basketball activities. Why is everybody laughing?
I'm laughing at their face.
Come on. We're dropping this.
It's on me?
Yes, Perk.
You dropping it?
I'm asking you.
Oh, I'm dropping this.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about them, Joel Embiid shooting jumpers. I want to see him be ready for the season.
Well, I appreciate that.
Dropping this.
See what I mean? I say let's drop it. That he keeps doing the thing about. We appreciate that example, Perk. All right, let's keep talking about international all-star big men. Alperen Şengün has been tearing it up in Eurobasket. He posted a triple-double on Tuesday to help unbeaten Turkey to a 91-77 win that was over Poland, and they advanced to the semis against Giannis and Greece. Now, Şengün's Turkish teammate, Furkan Korkmaz, he had some high praise for the 23-year-old.
Until now, I think Joel Embiid was the best player, best center that I was playing. But I think we can tell that it's Alperen now. So it's great to be around him, you know. He's enjoying playing basketball. He helps us a lot on the court defensively and offensively.
All right, Janae, chop it or drop it.
Oh, we are going to chop this up left, right, and center. Because this is an opportunity for young stars to emerge, to work on their game. And Alperen Şengün is doing exactly that. I'm so happy. And the colors go. You know what I mean? Houston Rockets red and white, Turkey, let's go red and white. I've seen the highlights, behind-the-back passes, the triple-doubles, him being able to facilitate. That's exactly what you need from a player that's looking forward to make the next step. We all know that he could have done more, potentially, you know, against the Warriors. That was a tough matchup, Draymond Green. But how do you improve? You took that personally. Look at the flex. Like, I love what I see from Şengün. And, Perk, I want to ask you, I feel like the Houston Rockets might have one of the best front courts in the NBA. Şengün, Capella, Amen Thompson there, and, of course, they re-signed the veteran, Steven Adams. Their front court is not to be played with, Perk.
At all. And it starts with baby Jokic. And Shannon, here you go. He is a top 5 big in the NBA.
Who the other 5,
You know
Perk?
why? Not just because of the points, not just because of the rebounds and the assists, but he actually plays defense at a high level. Watch and see how great he is in the pick and roll, as far as him hedging out his traps, being able to switch 1 through 5 and slide those damn puppies. Alperen Şengün is the real deal. It's the reason why we have the Rockets so high for us being championship contenders. In my eyes, they're right there under OKC, knocking at the door. And the big reason, not just because of KD and Amen Thompson, is because they have a top 5 big in the league in baby Jokic.
I'm sandwiched between some serious Houston love here on NBA Today. But you mentioned that matchup with Draymond Green. He's going to make our show right now because he weighed in on the GOAT debate, this time with Kai Cenat and Channing. Something tells me you might have some thoughts on this. Take a listen.
What'd he say?
Matthew Dellavedova. Deli stick. Like Matt. He won 2 games in the NBA Finals with Deli. Like stick. Matthew Dellavedova. I got a lot of respect for Deli. Sticks. I respect his game. Completely sticks. Like he can win with like guys like that. Man, this league, bro. To win with guys like that. MJ wasn't winning with Matthew Dellavedova.
You were on that team, Channing.
Deli out in Australia catching strays, my guy Deli. I'm going to tell you this. There is no dude that has gotten more from his career than Matthew Dellavedova, a guy that went to the hospital after every single game. Just an amazing human being. We would not have won a chip if it wasn't for Deli. Now, he may not have wowed people for 30 minutes or 40 minutes.
Draymond.
No, he didn't wow Draymond, but we still got the chip, brother, so it don't matter. But then, come on, leave Deli alone. He out there, put another shrimp on that Barbie, Deli.
Coming off of an NBA Finals where we saw T.J. McCollum also do his thing, the same time.
Hey, what school did he go to?
Goodness.
I'm just checking. Let me get that in there.
All right, coming up here on NBA Today, let's get to South Carolina. 3-time MVP, 2-time champion Asia Wilson. She's joining the show. How's she feeling about her aces? And, of course, we have to ask her about the MVP race.